Welcome back to Network Africa. Leaders are figuring out a way out of the political crisis in Guinea-Bissau, which has been going on for months. The crisis began soon after Prime Minister Domingos Simões Pereira last year. ECOWAS Chairman Marcel Leon de Souza is on his way to the country to discuss with its leaders. ECOWAS has 500 troops there and has appointed a special envoy to reside in the country. Mr. de Souza has called on fellow politicians to solve their issues by dialogue and is due to meet leading members of the government today. Justice has finally been meted out on a woman in South Africa for a crime committed 19 years ago. The 51-year-old woman had kidnapped baby Zephany nurse from her hospital bed and raised her as her own. She was arrested last year when people began to notice Zephany's resemblance with another girl at school. The DNA test showed both girls were sisters. The courts are not releasing the name Zephany grew up with, and neither has her kidnapper been named for security reasons. However, local media say Zephany does not want to establish a relationship with her biological parents and considers her kidnapper as her mother. For now, she prefers to live with her abductor's husband, whom she grew up believing to be her father. The judge told her abductor she had all the time in the world to return the child, but had chosen not to. He also said her decision to plead not guilty and portray herself as a victim in the affair counted against her.
This actually made me tired, it made me sick completely. I couldn't sleep for nights, couldn't even eat properly. So the way forward is to build my relationship with my daughter, and that's it.
He doesn't want anything to do with them, not because of anything, it's because they don't care about her. The bottom line is not about our family, my family, it's about Zephany.
We asked for 15 years, and we also made a recommendation to Judge Kloppe that we will be happy if we will be satisfied if a certain portion of that sentence is suspended and she gets 10 years direct imprisonment. We were granted what we wanted. We are happy with that.
Meanwhile, the Johannesburg Magistrate Court has ruled that the arrest of the so-called terror twins Brandon Lee and Tony Lee Tosile lawful. Their legal team had paused a bail application to question the legality of their arrest in the first place. Well, the twins were arrested in July on a sting of operations by South Africa's Serious Crimes Branch, the Hawks, who claimed that they had ample evidence linking the twins to the terror group ISIS and a planned attack on U.S. and Jewish institutions in South Africa.
It was another disappointing day for the Tulsi twins family. Their mother, Wasiela Tulsi, and Tony Lee's wife, Sinhia Inaboka, hoped fervently they would walk. The magistrate ruled otherwise based on a reasonable suspicion of offence.
The magistrate ruled that because of the statement given to the police by one witness who is now a state witness, together with what was found during the execution of the search warrant, then formed reasonable suspicion for the police to can arrest.
The Defence Counsel, Annelien van den Heever, is not deterred. She is planning to apply for leave to seek a different outcome from a high court.
Obviously, as the NPA, we will be opposing that application as we still maintain that the two twins are lawfully detained.
The Tulsi twins, who were arrested last month on terror charges after a police raid at their home, will remain in custody until Friday, when their bail application will be heard.
Well, our South Africa Bureau Chief, Betty Dibia, joins us now for more on this. Betty, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Now, why did the defense argue the legality of the twins' arrest?
It's just finding a loophole to quash the case before it starts, like let the boys go. The issue of, was there a warrant of arrest? Was there a warrant, to allow the police to take them and keep them? They've been in detention since they were arrested last month. So just the legal loopholes, but the magistrate ruled that, look, they have, sufficient evidence, to warrant the twins being held, because I think the police initially just went to search based on information, according to them, that they got from international intelligence agencies that they work with, countries working together, and they say they have been monitoring the twins and their activities, the communications, the travels they've made, especially after they were stopped from traveling to Syria via Turkey last year. And they tried to repeat the journey by road through other countries. That's according to the police. So that's basically where we are. The defense was trying to get them out of that, not even the issue of their bail application, but to question the legality of their arrest in the first place. Was there due process? And the police believed that there was due process. And the judge or the magistrate has now said, look, there was sufficient evidence for suspicion that something not right was about to happen or is going on with the twins.
But what happens now that the judge has ruled that the arrest was legal?
Well, they remain in detention, but the defense counsel is questioning that she's going to seek leave to take the case to a high court. Probably she may get a different outcome. And if they get that, because I remember one of the days that we were in court, the part of the defense team was asking the mother, do you have money for bail if you get bail for them right now, if they're going to walk at this point? And she left the court for some time, then she came back again. But at this point, if she gets leave to take the case to a high court to get a different outcome, probably, maybe that's the next place. But on Friday, the case has been postponed to the 19th, where the bail application will be heard. But the state is opposing it every step of the way, including the application by the defense to take it to a high court as well.
Oh, Betty, remember that a few months ago, the United States released a statement warning of possible terror attacks in South Africa in light of the twins' arrest. Has that view changed, and have there been tighter security measures put in place in the country?
We have assurances from the relevant authorities, like the State Security Minister David McClobo, who says, look, everything is in place. The country is safe for whoever lives in. I don't think the views from the American government's perspective has changed, but as expected, it's assurances from the South African government that everything is okay. It is okay, as in everything is under control. The intelligence is at tip-top form, and the security measures are in place to avert any eventuality of that nature.
All right, thank you very much, Betty, for talking to us on the program. Betty Debia, our South Africa Bureau Chief. Well, moving on now, world leaders continue to offer suggestions to bring South Sudan out of a crisis that has killed scores of people in the past weeks. But the country's president, Salva Kiir, has denied fighting the United Nations over a plan to deploy troops to end fighting in the country. The UN had on Friday authorized extra 4,000 troops, despite opposition from President Kiir. But by Sunday, his government said it would consider the proposal. The extra UN troops, described as a protection force that has the backing of the African nations, will fall under the command of the existing 12,000-strong UN mission. The UN decision was in reaction to days of fierce fighting in the capital, Juba, last month that raised fears of a slide back into civil war. Well, back here in Nigeria, the military says it's analyzing the latest video on the Chibok girls with a view to taking the appropriate action on the matter. The Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Abayomi Olonishaki, spoke to journalists after a meeting of the National Security Council. According to him, the war against Boko Haram is a military operation that is going on appropriately.
The meeting is about how we'll handle crisis.
What crisis? Especially now that a new video has emerged over the Chibok.
It's like issue of crisis, all sorts of crises, be it flood, be it terrorism, And that's what we have just done.
Still ahead on Network Africa, South Africa has been coping with a terrible drought caused by El Nino. Let's find the way out from it.